I have a little project to share today using something we all probably have, a toilet paper tube. About, I don't know, a month ago, 2 months ago, I don't remember when, I got a note from Jerry Bellini asking me to come up with some projects for toilet paper tubes. She challenged me to do that. And normally when I get those kinds of things I have to kind of politely decline because, you know, I usually don't have time. But I've been thinking on these for a while and had been tossing around some ideas, so I told her I would do it. She'd give me some time to collect more tubes. I would see what I could do. What I found is that I was unable to come up with anything original. I think all of the good toilet paper tube crafts have been done. And I really wanted to try to come up with something different because, you know, we've all seen the little books and the journals, and then you cut them like this and make flowers and designs out of them, and you know, there's just all those different things you can do that we've all seen a million times. I couldn't think of anything just stunningly, spectacularly unique, but I did do a couple of things that I think are worth repeating, put it that way. So, one of the things that I discovered is when you unroll the tube, when you take it apart, just your standard toilet paper tube, just start at one of the corners, you know, and peel it. It comes apart, well, if you can get it to come apart correctly, there we go. It comes apart in the shape of a diamond. And this is all excess paper. But you peel all that off, it is a nice diamond shape. So, you know, that's kind of just like an instant template. And if you put several of them together, then you've got that whole Harlequin thing going on, right? So, yeah, there's that. I really didn't realize that. So, that's one thing. You do have to be careful because these are not all the same size. The size of the tube varies from brand to brand, which surprised me. I found that out when I did a journal with these a while back. There's some that are wide or bigger around than others. Like this one is bigger around than this one, and I don't remember which brand was which. I just buy whatever's on sale. But it's larger. I don't know if you can tell. See? And it's also just a wee bit taller. Just a fraction taller. So yeah, they're not a standard size, so be careful with that if you're buying or collecting a whole bunch of them to use in something like that Harlequin pattern. You're going to get a little variation. But for the most part, that's not a big deal. One thing that I saw on a blog is, and I thought was a great idea, is to cover the tube with these little fun foam shapes to make a stamp. And the girl on the blog used one of these foam paint roller things, just like that. Perfect to make your little thing roll. So I've actually already used this and it works great, and I think this is a brilliant idea. Not my idea, but it is a brilliant idea, so there you go. And these were already pre-cut fun foam shapes, you know, from the kids' craft department, but you can cut your own, make your own shapes and designs or whatever. But there you go. There's one use for your potty paper tubes. And the other thing that I came up with, I did not come up with, I revisited and liked very much, is a book, a journal. And, you know, we've seen toilet paper tube books and journals just tons of different ways. This is nothing new, but it has a little bit of a different twist because of the closure. And it's sort of like, I've been calling it a Minidori because it's got kind of this fake Midori closure on it, and then inside it's just this cute little notepad. perfect, you know, for your purse. And if you're making a bunch of these painted background papers with me lately and you're wondering what in the heck you're going to do with them, well, here you go. Here's something to do with them. So I think this just makes a sweet little journal. And I didn't even sew my pages together. You can if you want, or just gather up scrap paper, cut them to size, fold them, stick them in, and they hold just fine because of the rubber band. And then, you know, when it's all filled up and done, you just toss those out and then you add some more. I mean, would this not be just a cute Valentine's Day gift? I think it would. You know, who says you have to have pink and red and hearts and stuff for Valentine's Day? This is way cooler and cuter. And, you know, you carry it in your purse and it's refillable. I just love it. I don't know. It's just me. But anyway, let me show you how I made this. It took me a while to figure out the closure, the whole rubber band thing. These were all my failed attempts. Yeah, they were just not quite right. But I did finally get it down to a technique that I like. So what you're going to do is take your toilet paper tube and you're going to flatten it. Use your bone folder so you can make good creases on either side. And then you're going to want to cut one edge of it open. And actually what I did was I just took my X-Acto and whacked off that end right there so it'd be nice and smooth. And then that's what gives you your little book, like this. And after you cut it, make the little cut and open it, then you just cover it with some whatever pretty paper you have. And I used Mod Podge on this one. I just did it a few minutes ago. It's not completely dry. But if you use Mod Podge or white glue or something really wet, then it helps to flatten out the tube. Because if you don't, then it's gonna want to do this forever. That kind of, you know, it remembers that it used to be round and it wants to go back into that shape. You do have to either put some weight on it or use something wet on it to get it to flatten out, and I found that the Mod Podge works just fine. Kill two birds with one stone, get it to flatten out, and then cover it. And I covered inside and out. And I didn't cover it like you would a book cover, you know, where you fold the paper over and make the mitered corners. And no, I just slapped a piece here, trimmed around the edge. I found that I didn't really like the cardboard showing around the edge when you do that. So on a couple of them I had taken a marker, you know, just ran it along the edge, which is fine. But I found that what I really liked was this little bit of a metallic paint. This is sort of a bronze, it's not paint, it's ink, metallic ink. So I got some of this, pulled out an old bottle of it's Dr. P.H. Martin's. It's some kind of a calligraphy ink, is what this is. And it's almost gone. I just had to add a little water to it to get enough out of it to show you. But you just kind of make a line, and then you can dip your edges in that line. And you don't have to be neat. You know, you want it to look kind of messy and freeform. Okay, there you go. So just get a little bit of ink on all the edges and then let that dry somewhere. How about we stick it in there. Perfect. Okay. After that's dry, then you want to take your, you want to get you some inside papers, just, you know, whatever papers you got. They can be lines, they can be book pages. If you're giving it as a gift, especially to a non-crafter, lined pages are good because, you know, they know what to do with a little book with lined pages. You know, a little notebook makes sense to them. A junk journal with book pages and all different things in it, will probably make no sense to them at all, and they won't know what to do with it. So line pages are always good if you're giving this for a gift. Then you will want to take your cover and you'll want to poke 3 holes right in the middle of the spine. I eyeballed it, and I eyeballed it badly. Those are just not even near evenly spaced. But that's okay, doesn't matter. So what you want to do is, we don't need to poke any holes in those. If you want to stitch these together, you can, but you know, like I said, it's not necessary. But you're going to need a couple of hair rubber bands like this. Just these hair elastics, you know, like you get at the hair elastic store. So you're going to need 2 of them. And you're just going to loop them together like this. You lay out your rubber bands with the metal ends both on the same end, either the left or the right, you know, whatever. Let's do them on the left for training purposes. You're going to put one over the other, this one with the metal thing over the end of the other one. Then you're going to take the metal thing underneath the end of the other one, hold both metal things and pull. Got it? That's it. I'll do it one more time. Both metal things facing the same way. Say to the left. Put one metal thing on top of the other rubber band. Push the metal thing underneath that other rubber band. Grasp both metal things and pull. So that's it. That gets the 2 rubber bands hooked together. Then you're going to need a book needle or a tapestry needle and some waxed linen. You don't need more than, you know, 1 book length, maybe 2 book lengths, and that's just so that you have enough to grab. You just need a tiny little piece, really, but I've got to have enough ends to grab. So, thread your needle. It's alright, I got it. Thread it. If you poke your holes big enough, you don't even have to use a needle. I have a feeling I did not poke my holes big enough. You start with your cover. This is the inside, this is the outside. You're going to come from the inside to the outside. You're going to come up through the top hole. Skip the middle one. You're going to go down through the bottom hole. So we're just like this, yeah? Now I'm going to put this tail into my needle so that I've got both ends threaded in the needle, because I want both ends to come up through the middle. So it's like a pamphlet stitch, you know, only it's a teeny-tiny pamphlet stitch, and you're not putting any pages in with it. Okay, now wrestle your needle free. And there you go. You should have a loop from the top to the bottom hole on the outside, and on the inside of the book they're both going to be coming up through the middle. So this is what you've got. Kind of pull that tight. Okay, there we have it. Then put your rubber bands on. Make sure that this is pulled tight, and open them up like that and put it around one of the covers. Both rubber bands, just like that. line your knot up with your thread that's coming out the middle there. You want it lined up with the middle of the knot. I like my little metal things to be lined up too. I don't know why, it doesn't matter. Okay, you got it lined up with your thread. Take one of your threads underneath both rubber bands so that your thread or your rubber bands are kind of straddling the two threads. Then you want to just tie your wax linen into a knot over those threads. And what that's going to do is just hold your rubber band in place so that it doesn't slide off. This will move around some, but it won't completely come off the book. So it's kind of held in place by that thread, and you're still able to do that little thing. So that's all we're doing. So just make a knot, just whatever kind of knot you can make, a granny knot, a square knot. Just knot it, pull it pretty tight. Give it an extra go around. Okay. Pull it and then just cut it off close to the knot. With wax linen you can kind of smush those down and they disappear, more or less. So, now you take one of your rubber bands. That'll be your closure. You slip your papers in. Like that. Like that. You can pull this around like that. Or I like to, on mine, I've been kind of doing the diagonal thing. But there you go. Quick and simple toilet paper tube little notepad for your purse or for your Valentine. And you can use up some of your papers that you've been making, 'cause, you know, I told you to, so I'm sure you are. And there you have it. A quick, easy, very simple book. Everyone can do this. So get busy. Start doing them. That's all I have. The end.